two for McDonald's or McDowell's, and then True North Consulting. We take out the ARPA fund.
For a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Call for vote, please. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Burshake, aye.
I'll give you this one back. Then,
Oh, yep.
okay,
Well, you guys can still initial it, that way I can figure it out later.
okay, okay. Grace will just give them a couple of moments to get this initial. Grace, are you ready?
Yes, you betcha.
Very good, thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, after our last Board of Health meeting, I had once again brought up the issues of current office space and storage, and it was recommended by Supervisor Primer to come before the board again once more. So that is why I am here today. As you know, I have been trying to kind of go over this issue since this past fall, and have presented this in front of you before. While the current space has been suitable in getting the department off the ground and functioning at an optimal level from an administrative perspective, I am preparing to interview for our nursing position and also start getting our immunization program ready, neither of which I have space for, and I anticipated that many months ago. That combined with the fact that, as you know, current space has not even been confidential for current operations. However, now I have recently met with Virginia Gay on items for public health's emergency response that is currently in their storage. It is housed both in their on-site and off-site storage, and they need their space back to be able to use it for their own operations. So beginning June 1st, they are poised to begin charging because those items are still in their storage space, and they need their space back, much like I need my equipment back. So because of all those factors, I am here to get a concrete plan in place by June 1st. I have, of course, presented and discussed multiple ideas with you before, but in the end, obviously, that department housing falls under your role. And I started this discussion a while ago because I did anticipate that there probably will be associated costs as well as guaranteed disruptions to other departments in terms of office space. Again, I had given a couple potential solutions. I had known that this was going to be a complex process, but obviously I cannot make this decision as a standalone. You are not going to find another health department in this service area servicing even more people or even less people with even more staff that has had to fight this hard just for the office space that we need. So I am just here to get a concrete plan in place, and again, just to make you aware of that June 1st date from Virginia Gay. So I am more than happy. I mean, my door has always been open, so I'm more than happy to meet and discuss ideas. But again, keeping in mind it is the middle end of May. So just kind of wanted to hear maybe some of your thoughts and to see where we can go from here, because I will need to give that information to the hospital so that they can make plans on their end.
It's something that I couldn't just do on my own, obviously, need to have board approval. Some of her storage is cold storage, correct?
So like some of our storage, yes, would have to be temperature controlled, and the items that Virginia Gay currently has They're a mix of things for, like operating a point of dispensing. Other items are items that would have to come to an office space for our nurse. We of course have our vaccine fridges, and other, just storage, like cabinets. Some of it is, just more administrative, things.
From previous conversation though, you said they've got some of this stuff in garages, which
Yes.
is cold storage.
Right, so yeah,
Okay.
and some of it is stored on site and some of it is stored off site, and I have been to visit both of those locations, and so I know what it is that we're looking at, and I know kind of how much there is.
So I don't know if you guys wanna discuss this now, or if you wanna have a work session. You know, I don't have a problem either way. Got some thoughts and ideas, and I can chuck them out if you want me to. You know, the rooms are all basically the same size, okay? She currently shares a room with the historical preservation,
In
correct?
the food pantry, yeah.
And the food pantry, which the food pantry has 2 refrigerators or 1 in there?
3.
3, okay. All right, and so, didn't know if we could move the food pantry into the hallway. And there's a lot of furniture out there that just needs to go. You know, refrigerators don't have to be in necessarily a climate controlled area. You know, I don't know if they can fit in that hallway or not, you know, but we need to get with them. As far as I can see, historical preservation, they have file cabinets and tables worked off of. And they meet in the evenings. I don't know why they couldn't move the file cabinets in here and perhaps meet here in the evenings, opening up this space for her. Again, I'm spitballing here, just trying to come up with thoughts and ideas. We also have a garage out here. I think they had a learning center as a school. I don't know what's in that one portion. I don't know if the garden folks are in there. I think they've got some of that. And the other part is just an open air storage. Don't know what it would cost to enclose that. I think it's got a cement pad. And if that could be enclosed and secured, some of her cold storage items could go in there as well. Although you do have some down with, downtown, isn't that correct?
Yes, yeah.
Secondary roads and weed department, and I believe there's some stuff down there.
Yes, and yeah,
Yeah.
in emergency management's garage, yes.
Very good. Thank you.
So, yeah, that's just kind of, and again, I wanna minimize disruptions to any other departments as much as I can on my end. But all in all, I mean, remaining that space would be possible. However, much like the offices, at the far east and west end of this hallway with the full walls, that would be something that we would, of course, then need to look at.
She had mentioned it today, the far end, how you did that.
The Abbey Center, I mean, looks wonderful, and something very similar to that, I think, would certainly suit our needs. I just kinda need to have at least something to present to Virginia Gay by the 1st. So, if
I don't
you,
think we can be out of there by the 1st, we'll probably have to, you know,
and I will let
do
them
what
know
they do
that.
for charges with it, but, you know.
Mhm.
So there's some thoughts now. You guys can take it from there. If you wanna get together and do a work session on it, I don't have a problem.
Can you give me a list of all the things like the freezers, refrigerators?
Mhm.
Are the freezers, the newfangled ones that get 40,000 degrees below zero? Are they plugged in right now?
One of them is an ultra cool freezer that is, still on a pallet, actually.
So what, it's not even plugged in then?
The one, no, it's that one is still, in, storage up at the
Okay.
hospital. And then there's another, fridge and freezer, but that freezer is not what you pull.
Okay.
But all of those, because they have been left unplugged for so long, I mean, it's going to cost to have them recalibrated and, make sure that they'll need to be checked before they legally can store.
So after, right now,
Mm,
go back to your office,
get a
you
good list.
make a list of everything, even file cabinets, you know what I mean, kinda give me a dimension, your file cabinets.
Mm,
Then ask for like the nurse, she'll probably want a desk, right?
mm.
And then will she need an exam table?
That I'll need to check with some of our other departments, other, PH departments to see kind of what they have and what they recommend, but I don't anticipate that would be very difficult at all.
Okay.
It's like fairly standard setup.
I
And
could-
those that I had already budgeted for this coming year, so that's financially not an issue, but yeah, I can get a good list together.
So I wanna know actually what,
What's all
a
there?
guy could build rooms
Mhm.
to fit your needs and
Absolutely.
to go from there.
That works for me. I will get that list together.
And then we could do a work session then this gets done fairly early, before May comes,
or you mean Judy?
or, excuse me,
Amateur.
Yep,
Okay.
too many things in my mind now.
Okay.
Absolutely. I will be in my office the rest of this afternoon, so.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. Sue?
Yes, I have a resolution here for, Will Baronick, who's been here 6 months in secondary roads, and to bump him up to $27 an hour. That would be effective May 20th, and that's a labor grade IVV classification.
IBV?
IV as in Victor, B as in boy.
Oh, other way, okay.
Yep. Just a resolution, and sign that.
Which, did you put number on that one?
2448.
So they didn't do my service area one yet?
Oh,
So-
so it does need to be 2447?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I brought that backup plan because, we talked about, she wasn't sure how the first one would go. So it's gonna be 2447.
Okay. So is there a motion to do that pay change for Will Burn? As they don't everybody rush into this. Okay, it's been moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve that pay raise for Will Baranack, pay change, excuse me. And call for vote, Primer, aye.
Freeman, aye.
Your change aye.
That's resolution 2447, right?
2447,
Okay,
correct.
good, thank you. I think Melinda can visit with us while we're signing that.
And mine's pretty short, sweet. June 27th is our District 6 meeting. It's gonna be in Cedar Rapids at the Lynn County building. I'm gonna close the office because the motor vehicle, or the DOT will be there to do hands-on training for motor vehicle and, driver's license. So this way, the hands-on we get once a year and it's pretty helpful. And then also, I was gonna give you an update on the cross-county titling. That bill has passed. It's gonna go into effect, January 1 is what they're hoping. So that means that anybody throughout the state can go to any county to title a vehicle. But the counties, with this passing, the county's revenues are going to increase. Instead of getting $1 for every new registration fee, which used to be classified as use tax, no matter what we collected, we only got $1. We're gonna get 11. For every title transfer, we used to only get $2.50, we're gonna get $12.50. And for every lien add, we used to only get 6, and now we're gonna get 16.
Can you give it?
16. The state was they haven't increased our fees in like 30 years, so this is gonna help make up some of the shortfall, with budgeting and that for like, property tax used to cover most of our office, so this should help with that. The state was going to send out a form, I thought they were gonna get it to me before this meeting to kind of give us an idea how much each county might get, but I didn't see that. But when I get it, I'll let you guys know.
So, excuse me, go ahead.
No, you're okay.
So you buy a vehicle down in Cedar Rapids, you probably won't get those fees?
It depends, the people, so if somebody lives in Des Moines, but say they're up here visiting their mom and they have bought a car and they haven't got it transferred, they can come in and transfer with us if they want to, for the cross-county titling. Most of our customers are still gonna come, most of the customers are still gonna go to their counties, it's just like the people that live in Dysart, if they, instead of driving to Tama, if they wanna come to Benton, they can come to Benton to title the vehicle, but when it comes time for renewal, they'll still have to renew in their county. But we get the increased fees no matter if it's our customer and out-of-county customer. The state's increasing what the county's revenue, monthly revenue is going to be.
Those fees, of course, be passed on to the customers.
Yes, unfortunately, that's where that's coming from. But that's the state, it's across the state, it's not just, if you're coming in from an out-of-county. But like I said, they haven't increased any of those fees, and I've been with the county almost 27 years, so it's been longer than that. The only thing they've ever increased since I started working for the county is, security interest went from $5 to $10, but we didn't get any more money. Title fees went from 15 to 25, but the county didn't get any more money, so. And use tax went from 4% to 5%, but the state kept that. So this was a big win, other than they can go, which to me, going to any county to transfer the vehicle, I don't think is going to affect us. I think it's gonna increase us because, our business just because we have a lot of people from Lynn County that wanna come here. It's easier to get in and out. We'll see.
Okay.
But July, or they were talking January 1 if they can get the programming in, but you know how that goes. It could be next July, but.
And of course, for the closing of the office, you'll have that
Yep.
notice in the paper.
Yep, I'll get it out.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You bet.
Haley, did you have anything else you needed with the amended service areas?
I'm gonna type it up and bring it back,
Okay,
cause we'll have a recess before Judy gets here.
okay, thank you. Are you ready to do that, cost advisory plan?
Yep, and I emailed you guys that,
Yeah, got
so
it.
just gotta formally acknowledge and sign that.
You guys had a chance to look this over?
He's gonna come in person this next year because we've had some changes, and actually come around and look and see for himself for our space and how do we utilize it, so.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Good. All right, so we need to acknowledge this. So can I get a motion that we acknowledge this cost advisory plan
And you gotta sign it, right?
and authorize the signature?
Yes. That's my motion.
Attaboy.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, call for vote, Bremer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Pershing guy.
And that invoice will probably be in the next claim run.
Shelby.
So. Excited about introduce you first. Okay, so we have, the two new employees for IRM here. We've got Ethan and Brock, and Ethan is gonna take the lead and just give you guys a little update on, where IRM's sitting, and then I'll do a little conservation update.
Yes.
You can only stay right there.
Come on up, young man.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So as Shelby said, I'm Ethan. So I started on May 6th, so this is the beginning of my third week. So I'm fresh and green, but in this short time, we've actually got a lot done. Eric and I got out and we've sprayed 5 times, covering 116 miles of county roadway. And that puts us at a whopping 4.66% done, but we are actually pretty happy about that. We've restocked up on our hydro mulch, just so that we can cover, the costs that we need for this current fiscal year before it goes on to the next one. Eric's ordered a bunch of equipment for us, again, just to try and use what budget we have available to us. So we've ordered some GPS equipment to make our spraying more accurate, and this will go in our vehicles. This will document where we're going, instead of what we're currently doing is just individually mapping it when we get done spraying. We started spot spraying for nuisance weeds such as Japanese knotweed. During our travels just driving around the county, we've seen different areas of this knotweed coming up. So Eric went out one afternoon and he targeted that just with spot spraying it. And then we went back and checked on it, and it was really successful. It really torched them, and they aren't gonna come back for a while at least. And then before I got here, Eric, he was involved with planting 9.5 acres of native seed mix with the hydro seeder. That was with the help of secondary roads crew. And then we're currently in the hunt for a replacement skid loader, because before both of us showed up, secondary roads bent the frame on our skid loader. So that has kind of been at least while I've been here, we've been talking about that a lot. We got a skid loader from John Deere yesterday to kind of mess around with. And then I don't know much about it, but he got a phone call this morning talking more about it, so I think that hunt is going to continue. But that's all I know about that. Eric is gone today at a meeting. That's why he's not here, and that's why we're here representing. And then on my first week, we went and picked up 40 acres worth of seed mix from the Tall Grass Prairie Center, and that will cover the next 2 years worth of seeding. So that's what I have here on this list.
I seen you guys out spraying.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
it's going good.
which is wonderful.
Are you guys hitting the blacktops first?
Yeah, so we did, I guess we call it the Brandon Blacktop.
Yep.
Did that. Then we did the Garrison Blacktop. And then, I don't know if that's the same one, but it's 61st Avenue or whatever. I don't know, that was a long one. That was 14 down and back. We've mostly done blacktop, but then we've done just a few, like the first day we went out, we just went out on a gravel road close to secondary roads just to figure things out, because it was both his and myself's first time in the rig, just to see how it sprays, kind of get used to the different switches that control the different nozzles on the machine. Still trying to figure out the tank itself, how often we have to refill our water, our chemical, our surfactant, but I think we're getting a pretty good hang of it. So I think we come in early on days where the weather shows it's going to be a really good spraying day. So we start at 6 instead of 7, and so far that's been really effective, especially because on those days, it's Iowa, and even by mid-afternoon, just a slight breeze can really pick up, and the wind can cause the drift to be too much to continue spraying. So starting early, those 2 days that we started early was really effective. So we'll continue to do that, I'm sure.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Brock started yesterday, so
I'm Brock. I graduated from the University of Iowa about 10 days ago. I have a degree now in environmental planning. I'm from Woodbine, Iowa, which is western Iowa, so I'm excited to be here.
Welcome.
I suppose I didn't introduce myself. I graduated from Hawkeye with natural resource management degree, and I actually worked for Eric last year at the city of Waverly, so we already know each other fairly well. So.
Questions, any gentlemen? Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Get to work it out. Shelby, do you have anything else?
just on the conservation side, that we're going to be posting our tech positions this week. And we're excited to, move forward, and a lot of restructuring and staff changes, but we're trucking right along. And then if you guys had any questions for us.
All the bills that was in today's run,
Mhm.
was that for all pedestals in the parks, electrician?
Your upgrades.
Oh.
Pedestals, electrical.
Yeah,
Yes.
like 3 different electricians.
50 amp pull-through sites.
Yeah, that's what I
Yep.
figured.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just, we'll be knocking out a couple every year
Mm-hmm.
at each park.
Good.
And no bills have come in yet for the Wildcat, plumbing and electrical yet?
Nope, they're trying to button up this week, weather dependent.
Understood.
But the well house is set and all of that, so.
Yeah.
And I see you've got the conference coming up, is that this fall?
It is this fall. Okay, so that is the Iowa County Conservation Association's fall conference. It's geared towards board members and supervisors primarily, and then of course staff. You ideally bring in a couple of staff members, but it's the closest one that we've had in a long time, just being at Fayette and Winnebago. But we will be hosting in 2026, so we'll be bringing in around 200 plus people from around the state that are supervisors and board members, and giving them tours, or partnering with Lynn and Jones County. So I'm encouraging any supervisors, and board members to attend at least one day of this event up north, so they can kind of see what we'll be taking on. I mean, it's full-on tour buses, catered meals, you bring in big speakers, but it's a chance for the counties in conservation to really sell what they are doing and how they're accomplishing what they're doing. And it's kind of nice partnering with Lynn and Jones, because we have 2 small counties on the side of a massive one. So we'll be able to kind of show how we're accomplishing things at different levels of funding and resources. But in Winnebago and Fayette have a totally different ballgame up there, just with their, topography alone. They work with different things, so.
Good.
Super educational, and excellent for networking too, between conservation board members, so. Yes, so let me know if you guys wanna attend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have Lori,
We need to go up there.
please.
I guess I'd also be
And for the record, introduce yourself.
Yep, I'm Lori Sila, this is my husband Neil.
Oh,
We live on 57th Street Trail north of town. There's construction on 218 going north, and so we've been having to go on West D Street and then turning,
22nd Avenue.
yeah, 22nd Avenue. And the first day that it was shut down, there were hardly any cars on those gravel roads. But then kinda as the week progressed, there's been lines of cars on those 2 roads, so. We were just wondering if something could be done to control the dust, especially at the intersection of those 2 roads, cause it's a little bit scary.
Very familiar with the area,
Yeah.
obviously. I was on it the other day, and as I was heading south on 22nd, came to the stop sign, and it's a T intersection,
Mhm.
obviously, as you very well know, but for their benefit. You cannot see from the,
Right, the road.
from the west,
Mhm.
because it's a little bit of a bluff there.
Right,
And you just basically have to wait for the dust to clear before you can safely pull out.
yeah,
And it's got all sorts of traffic, not just 4 wheels, but semis on it as well.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think maybe our thoughts were, it doesn't directly affect our residents, but what I would say is if they could do simple things as, there's a windrow of rock that's 3 feet off the edge of the road. That way, now the west side of the road crowds to the center. spread the rock. Give the whole road, give some more room.
We've got the county engineer.
Yeah, but I mean, that's something simple, costs minimal dollars. And if they could do a little dust control on the intersections, I'm aware that when they did the roundabout, the DOT did some dust control, and I think that road would be a perfect ask to say, DOT, we know where the detour is, but you see where the traffic is.
Yeah, nobody's using the detour anymore.
And I think that if you use that calcium product, that's a cheaper product. If the county spent if the county had to spend $1,000 to keep that intersection safe, in the grand scheme of things of what this county does, it's money well spent. So, as far as benefiting us, it's more of a,
Safety.
it's safety for everyone. We're just here to talk about it.
I'm surprised Paul and Carolee aren't in here. Their house is
Yeah,
just
they're getting.
totally covered,
yeah,
constantly, yeah.
so,
But, you know, in the past, we haven't, as a county, am I correct, Myron, we haven't done anything as a county, but, is that a call you can make to the state to see if they can do the intersection?
The DOT is aware of that. It was brought to their attention before the project started. The DOT's practice, with a marked detour is if a city or county road sees some increased traffic that needs some additional activity after a project closes, they are open to participating. Friday, I got an email from the DOT indicating they were willing to participate, just doing it at the intersection and residence or the full mile stretch. I haven't got a reply back from that email yesterday that I sent. They had received calls and some pictures sent to them last week. I know last Friday, I wasn't here, but the way that wind was blowing very lightly out of the west, it would blow across the north-south half-mile segment, but it just hung on
yeah.
58th Street Drive. I know that with that project going on 218, if this weather, rain doesn't back them up too bad, I was anticipating about a month that they could get that precast box put in that location. I also know the Rock Road run along the river is probably seeing some increased traffic into Benton also, because anyone coming from Mount Auburn is probably just going using that road and coming to town. But I haven't heard of any concerns. There's not as many residents on that, and it's probably not getting used as heavily as
It's not
the one
nearly
that
as heavy, and if it keeps raining, there'll be a river across it, so those people will come on the other one.
The other one.
I mean,
But I know some of the private contractors, at least one of them is planning on being here later this week. I was just waiting for a reply back from the DOT as to, how they were gonna handle that this year, since they've said they would agree to participate. I know a couple years ago with the Highway 21 interchange project, that was being handled out of the DOT's Marshalltown office, I think. They were coordinating the dust control with the dust control contractor themselves, and it wasn't anything that the county was paying for and getting reimbursed for. It was just going around. So, I was just asking how the practice was gonna go this year, but they are aware of it and they are agreeing to get something done. I'm just waiting to hear who's coordinating it, and from there, how soon it will happen.
yeah, well, that's great to hear.
Okay,
Alright,
very good.
that's all. Thank you.
And thank you.
Get the weather drier, Myron, would it be smart to go out there and take that shoulder and put it on the road?
We rocked it pretty heavily before the project, and depending on the weather conditions, so you could say the windrow is an asset to us to use moving and shaping the road when conditions are right. It's probably got a little bit bigger windrow just because we just recently rocked it a week and a half ago, anticipating some extra traffic and knowing that without some ladder rock, it could even be worse out there, aside from the dust issue.
Cause I I was out there when conservation had our meeting here,
Last Monday.
yeah, and there was a lot of rock there. But then again, you guys up here got rain, and it was really greasy. You had about 1 or 2 tenths, but I mean, that road was really, coming out of it and D Street was fine, but when you turn it to T and go north, it was just slimy. So,
I mean, it'll need to be bladed again before any dust control gets put down,
Okay.
for sure.
but just the idea that, you know, I kinda agree with that, level that rock out, but I mean, if it- you can't have 3 inches of loose rock going on the side of the road either.
Right.
Okay. You got it.
Very good. How about reports, fellas?
Well, I wanted, Ian's Myron's here, I wanted to bring up that road south of Blairstown, there's a lot of holes along the side of the road. Hopefully, some of them can get straightened out, cause some of them are like that deep, and then there's, well,
Does Myron know which road you're talking about? There's a lot of roads south of Blairstown.
okay, it's a road to Marengo,
Okay. So it's the blacktop?
yeah,
Okay.
and it's north of, Iowa County. It's, just needs to be brought up to the edge of the road.
The shoulder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guess that's about all I got.
Reports, Tracy?
Last Tuesday night, we had the EMS, for the first responders. We set some of the bylaws and all that, how many people's gotta attend the meetings to get things done. Basically, when it gets all said and done, they want all 3 of us supervisors to show up at the meetings. I don't know how that's gonna work.
I thought they said only one had to.
Well, I was a pusher of that.
But I thought they agreed to that. Then we
Did they
wouldn't have to
decide
post.
it
I thought they
then?
did.
I don't,
As long as we don't have a quorum, then I don't have to go and I
Yeah.
don't have to post agenda because Mindy takes the minutes.
yeah,
That's how I took it as,
okay. Hopefully that you're right.
because otherwise it's gonna be the second Tuesday every month.
Right. And I also had landfill last Thursday night, things running smooth there. They're gonna start with the new lagoon in probably July, so. Then the last thing was last night I had EMA with Scott. So, of course, they were talking a lot last night about the severe weather that was gonna come this morning and this afternoon. They're kinda giving weather updates.
Hopefully Dean doesn't
I
have
guess
to
I
learn the hard
didn't
way.
Ever realize that when they get it from Des Moines or Omaha about severe weather here, they get an email, and they turn around, they send it to the nursing homes, they send it to the hospital, and they send it to the schools for a heads up, what's gonna happen, what time. I never knew that. Learned something last night, never knew that. That's
He,
it.
he used to be able to push out emails too if you get on the list. You'll get a text message.
Okay,
Okay.
did not know that.
And I'm like Gary, Minor this week, pile driving, so have 2 of them at the same time, that'll be fun. Okay,
We had, a gentleman, Frank and Gail Rinderknecht stopped in. There's a bench on the south side of the courthouse that's got some damage, and he's willing to foot the bill if you guys are okay with him repairing it or getting a new bench. He's willing to donate. So he was in the other day voting and he talked with Justin. He went out and looked at it, so.
aren't those concrete benches?
Yeah, and
I
there's
thought so.
rebar in it, so I don't know what Justin and him come up with, but that was yesterday, so I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Any issues, fellas?
If he's willing to fix it or donate it, I don't know if we'll put a plaque or something, but
Well, the plaques, I think, have to go, acknowledgement has to go inside.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, okay. But,
I'll probably readdress it if we find out what, for sure, how we can fix it, so.
yeah, very good. All right. Public comments.
Yeah. I believe
Please state your name.
Charles Green,
Uh-huh.
I believe the Benton County lawyer informed y'all I would be here today. I live out on 56th Street Trail. It's what the county decided to use as a highway for the quarry that's out there for my dad's been a truck driver my whole life. So I understand that there's a lot of times when you need to do stuff. But I also understand that when you have state laws and the county willingly disregards them, it starts to get annoying. This year, their maintainer went over I paid for 1,000 feet of dust control. 2 days after I put it down, the county ran a train on it. The first coating lasted exactly 7 days before they had destroyed it. I had to wait until last fall, to get the second coating, which made it through the winter because they seemed to be done with the project. This spring, just as things started to thaw out, their maintainer ran over it with its chains on, creating potholes everywhere, tore up the surface and everything. While it was raining, while it was wet, they've continued to run trains.
Trains?
What I call a train is anything more than 30 trips a day.
Oh, okay.
They're
Trucks.
constant truck traffic. Now, our road is listed as farm access, not a truck route. State law says that all quarries have to be entered and exit from the nearest hard surface road, which would either be the Centerpoint Urbana Blacktop or the Palo Centerpoint Blacktop, not the 4 miles of 56th Street Trail. And I've got videos, their trucks come by so fast that they will draw dirt from the end of my dust control 600 to 700 feet down my dust control, which doesn't do me any good. Now, a normal car will carry it 300-400 feet, but their trucks will carry it even more than that. They've created potholes, and as I've had several talks with him over the years about it, and I've gotten no relief, I asked him this year if they could send out a crew with the mix to patch in the potholes and stuff like that, because they're getting bad. I'm 100% medically retired, my health is failing, my heart's below 30%, my lungs are fried from chemotherapy and radiation. Before I went to talk to him, I spent 3 weeks, I didn't even leave the house, I was so sick. Now, if I need to go out and, like I did the year before last, where I have to go drag the trailer, the tubs and everything out to his shop, and then 5-gallon bucket by 5-gallon bucket, which took me almost an hour and a half to do, to fill the tubs needed to fill in the holes that the trucks had created. I asked him if he could do it. They said they don't have a policy for that. And then his secretary stated that I hadn't filed for an extension on my dust control. Well, I hate to break it to everybody, but there's no state law saying I need to file for an extension on my dust control. I've already talked to the state's attorney general's office. If they're going to use that road as a truck route, according to the state, they need to provide dust control from the nearest hard surface road to the county line, which is a little over 2 miles, I think it is. But I haven't asked them to do that. I've been willing, every come in and do, but if they're going to willingly destroy it, where his maintainer dropped his blade on my dust control and wiped out several hundred feet of it, if they're gonna do that, I think they should be responsible for repairing. Now, I've already talked to the state's attorney general's office, I've already talked to the Benton County lawyer, and they said if I don't get any help at this level, then the state will get involved. If it goes to that point, it's gonna get rather expensive for this county.
So what would you like to see done? The potholes filled is what I'm hearing, is that correct?
Yes.
And traffic redirected? Is that what I'm also hearing?
Well, if they wanna continue to use the road, they need to either, dust control it, or they can hard surface it. I mean, that's state law. Now, I understand that they have a provision, and like I said, my dad's a truck driver, I've been around construction my whole life, a utility locator installer, you name it, I ran the gas lines from freaking Center Point all the way to Ames. But I explained to him that if they were willing to send a crew out to fill the potholes, I would have let it drop. This wouldn't be happening right now. But he said they don't have a provision to do that. Well, they may not have a provision, but they have a law that says they're not supposed to do it. I know they have a provision that says if they're working on that section of road between 32nd and the county line, that they have the right to use the road to get to the quarry because it's the closest to the quarry. But you're not gonna tell me you're dropping 32 loads of rock on that road every day for 4 days straight. And as a 100% medically retired veteran, I can't afford, I mean, you send a crew out, I mean, they've accused me of trying to steal rock. When, in 2017, when my truck was in an accident, got totaled, and I had to get a rental, they came by, put a beautiful layer of rock on the road, and then graded all the way down to the dirt. And I got pictures, I got videos, I got everything. And put a 3-foot wide, almost 18-inch tall pile of rock in front of my driveway. I couldn't get out with the rental car. So my neighbor, who worked for the DOT for 30+ years, came over with his skid loader and leveled the rock back out on the road so I could get out. One of the Benton County trucks went by and wanted to charge me for stealing the rock. Well, that winter, they came by with the maintainer and blew all that rock into my yard and left a 10-foot wide strip through my yard. When I went in and asked them, they're like, oh no, once it's off the road, we don't care. You can clean it up. That shouldn't be my responsibility.
Thank you, Charles. I think we'll get with Myron and see what he's gonna.
Well, like I said, if it doesn't get satisfaction at this level, it's going to the state, and they said they will intervene. I mean, that's not the only problem I have with this county. This county could be cutting me a big, massive check because they illegally collected taxes for 5 or 6 years. After the governor passed a law saying that I no longer had to pay property taxes, the tax assessor said, you know what, I know I got the paperwork, but I'm not gonna listen.
Okay. So, Myron, maybe we can get together during the recess here between and discuss a
Okay.
little bit, so, okay, all right. Anyone else? Okay. Well, gentlemen, I don't think Judy's gonna be here until 11 is when she's
She
scheduled.
thought maybe quarter till, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's been posted as 11, right?
Yeah, cause when she wanted us to put a time on.
Okay.
She's in Cedar County first this
All
morning.
right, very good. So can I get a motion to recess?
Motion on recess.
Second.
Yeah, moved and seconded to recess. Call for vote. Kramer, aye.
Seeing I.
Very good. Mr. Home?
Yeah.
3 hours back.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll beat the big storms
Well,
in.
that's just.
Oh, no, where do you live?
Des Moines area.
Yeah, well, south of Van Wert.
You'll drive right into it.
Oh, that's
Such a
reassuring. Maybe she needs police escort.
You'll be ahead of it.
Hopefully.
I don't think it's till a little later.
Isn't it like 4 to 9 the next big
Alright,
storm?
I put us back on live if
Although
you wanna
you
do
guys
that
walked
before
in, I
she
was
starts
watching a big
talking.
ball
It's
fly
rumbling.
flying across.
It's,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's crazy.
Well,
We actually rode together today because we only wanted one vehicle getting hail damage
usually you
in it
respond right
too.
away.
Unless
See,
it's-
Scott
I'm sure it
Harrison
won't be a
knows
problem,
the
but I'll text her.
Actual names for all the
Oh,
weather
yeah.
patterns and stuff.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Fast. Driver. She's not on her policy. Oh, I just came out, did you come up on 30? I don't know, must got out there soon. I don't know.
Well, we go back in, need a motion to go back into
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, motion to go back into session.
Okay, been moved, seconded, call for a vote. Primer, aye.
Name and I.
Other pictures in it?
No. Yeah, I guess we can give him a second.
Give him a second. Oh,
Otherwise, we'll do it 3,400, but if I could do it 2 ways, but, yeah, just wait. I wanna make sure he's fine with it.
You guys ready?
Well, you're on for 11 o'clock, so
Oh.
we actually have to hold on just a moment.
Okay,
Sorry.
sounds good. That's okay.
But it gives the fellas an opportunity to start looking through
That's
the
right.
material.
There you go.
Sue, I did talk with Ethan on his way out, and he understood the timesheet for time being, so,
Yeah, I explained it to him yesterday,
yeah.
so if he wasn't the only one, so that's why.
He what?
He wasn't the only one, so that's why
Oh.
I talked about
Okay.
if we could revise that, but yeah, I explained it to him yesterday.
Okay, well, if they have any more payroll questions like that, Nancy can explain it too, I think.
Yeah, I think we can explain it to him, there's just a way to make it do it easier, so that's why I had asked about that. Are you still willing to look into that?
We will after this payroll, maybe check out the program, but we'll see. Otherwise, we might wait since we're gonna maybe go to the paperless time and attendance.
Right, that'll be months and months and months down the road, we have all those new people, so.
So that's good to have. They're on top of it.
Only one that said we think you were the big numbers.
Yeah. But I mean, those that are gonna use it like the last week in June,
Okay with that.
they've let me know, so it doesn't get paid out.
You gotta let us know. If you
Exactly.
don't, it's gonna get paid out.
Yep,
I'm just gonna send out a reminder.
you did.
Somebody wants to do that.
Yeah.
So I was just telling them I started getting.
For the sick conversion.
How do we fix
We need that.
deal?
How do we vote?
How do we fix that other deal with those different dates? I don't like that.
Oh, how the 2 different personal days, union contract, that's where it's listed in your union contract.
We need to fix that.
So if they renew at the same time, everybody else renews on their anniversary.
I can agree with that. That one is on the calendar year.
And one is on
the
fiscal.
contract.
Yeah, and that's spelled out in your union contract.
Who can do that?
I'm scared.
So,
Yeah, me too.
Should be good going back to Des Moines.
Yeah.
This is supposedly
that?
moving north, and it's mostly up north now.
Women's restroom, if I remember right, is where we go.
So is it changed?
I'm not going in there.
Oh, no, we used to just go in the hallway and put our books over our head. This used to be our elementary school.
I went into the back,
You went to-
those that could fit in the bathroom.
Yes, I did.
I did too.
What,
This used to be like, the front area was like, you'd come in and you'd have
This
like a
was
big
like first
reading
grade.
area.
Kindergarten was across the hall.
what was your animal on the floor?
I don't remember that. There's a Scotty up there, but
Look, we're ready, I got 11 o'clock there.
Okay. Well, so I just want to go over, first of all,
Judy, would you, just for their convenience, would you introduce yourself?
Yep, so Judy Hamaker with Quality Insurance on behalf of Heartland, and then Mary Griffin is with Holmes Murphy, and they're the broker. So, all right, so I'm just, gonna go over, there hadn't been any rate increases for the member counties, for at least 15 years. So any increases in the premium from the reinsurance carrier, that was absorbed by the pool. So the pool was absorbing that, and that was not being put onto the county. So again, like I said, there hadn't been any rate increases for over 15 years. I don't know if there had been a rate study done, when the last time that was done. So the pool elected to have a rate study done last year, and that rate study was done by Actuarial Associates, and based on that study, there were proposed rate adjustments that the pool implemented for this policy year. So that's kind of where we are with the difference in the rates, and I can go ahead and let Mary go over.
Yep, absolutely. So I know that you guys have probably seen the budget that was given to you earlier in the year. So these are more the premiums that are gonna be based on the values that we actually received from the county on the property, your inland marine, your equipment. So part of the increase, a small amount of it on the property, is due to the property value increases on your various buildings. The majority of it is that rate change that Judy mentioned. The board, the Heartland board, had elected to make those recommended changes from the actuary, just for the long-term health of the pool itself. So that's primarily why you're seeing the bigger increase in the property premium. Just wanna make sure that if there's any questions on the property and inland marine itself before I go on.
I don't know.
And
Gentlemen, do you?
This weather out here is,
distracting.
well, no, that's what, like,
Yeah.
I mentioned, that's what keeps me up at night, because when we have these heavy storms, that's what's impacting a lot of the property premium, so, just a constant reminder, it seems, lately. The next thing I wanna point out is, on your general liability, you'll actually see, that you've got a bit of a decrease, even though some of your exposures have gone up. They also, with that rate study, looked at the various counties and the rates that were being applied. And we don't know why it's been for a number of years. The rates were kind of, they were different by the county, so they kind of stabilized those. One thing that it did for Benton County was that you saw a little bit of a decrease in your general liability rates. So, like on your general liability, you actually went down 9% in that premium, and that's based on those changed rates as well. The big one that you'll notice with the decrease is your workers' compensation. You've got almost a 31% decrease in your workers' compensation. From your payroll, you actually were up 4% in your payroll, or your projection for your payroll, but your mod took
a pretty big decrease. So that's always a good thing when your mod takes a decrease. And also the rates within the work comp excess. We also got news from our work comp carrier that they assured us another 2-year rate guarantee in that excess. So this year and next year, so with a flat renewal this year, and it will continue the same next year for the excess work comp carrier. Any questions on that? The other one I guess we should address, and I'll let Judy address that one, is the cyber, because there is a sizable increase in the cyber.
Yeah, so the way this had been done in the past, again, this is where the pool was absorbing the majority of the cost of the cyber insurance. Only 25,000 was being allocated to the counties to be split between the counties. This year, the board agreed to take the expiring premium, which is approximately 160,000, 50% to be paid by Heartland, and then 50% to be paid by the counties, split between the counties with the 25% allocation for number of employees and then 25% per county. So that's why that increased. So that, I assume the pool will continue that, so though you won't see an increase like that in the future. So that, but that, to get that where it should be, where the pool isn't absorbing that whole entire cost on that. So that's the change in that. Then again,
I kind of add on to the cyber. So we are looking at some other programs that could give us some relief in the next year on the premium, but they are requiring all 10 counties to have multi-factor authentication. Remind me, is Benton have on your email?
Certain ones you like to remote in, like remotely, we have to.
Yeah.
But he's working on a program for the other way.
Perfect.
Just regular desktops, I mean, like when we're remoted in, you know,
Okay, so
like
this,
from our home or whatever.
right, so it's your email when you're remote, that has
Yep, you
already
have to
has-
have the double factor.
Okay.
At least mine's set up that way.
And do you know what the time frame is to get the rest of it set up?
I don't, I know he's researched a few different things, like having like a little.
He's been doing that for over a
Yeah,
year.
he's been talking with I know he's going to an IT conference this month yet, so.
Okay.
I know it's big in all 99 counties, so.
Okay, perfect. And with the cyber program that we're looking that could have some savings, if the board chooses to go with that program, each county would have 90 days post 7/1
To approve that.
to have it in.
Okay.
Have it in effect.
So I know like with us, with our, like I know the treasurer's office with the state stuff, or mine with voter registration, all that, we have extra protocols too,
Okay,
so.
that makes sense.
Yep.
Thank you.
Will they gonna still send that stuff out like we discussed last week
So,
to
yeah,
let us
so
know when
we
talk about
are
that?
waiting for that carrier to send us the details. We did ask for those details so we could share those. Once we have those, then Anna in my office is going to reach out to the individual counties. Yeah.
and then this year, there were no premium credits approved for this policy year, and that the board didn't approve any, just kind of based on the rate adjustments and then seeing where we were to get the surplus where it needs to be. So I'm sure they'll take a look at that next year, with the surplus, and could possibly see those premium credits again next year. So, and that will just be a board decision. And then I kind of wanted to talk about the loss control. Troy Schulten has been coming out doing his assessments, and then he'll be making recommendations for things that need to be taken care of to reduce risk. So he'll be providing reports. That kind of goes along with what Heartland has now acted upon, that they want to establish every county to have a safety committee. So that's been approved by the board, so all of 10 counties need to have a safety committee. And then I think possibly that they'll put this in play to 10%. Right now, everyone was getting a 10% safety savings discount on their work comp premium. And I think the board was looking at implementing that. You need to make sure you have a safety committee who's meeting quarterly in order to get that discount. And in addition to that, they were talking about they may also give dividends based on the loss ratios, and Troy had calculated the loss ratios. The work comp, loss ratio for the current year is 1.52, and for the 3-year is 23.73, and the property loss ratio for the current year is 21.74, and for the 3 years, 44.5%. So the pool will be looking at, what that might look like as far as what loss ratios are, and the dividends and how they may, rate that, and what they would give back for dividends, and looking at that going back into your surplus for the county. So, that hasn't been implemented yet, but they'll be looking at that, as a way to, continue with the safety and the importance of that, so. And then the only other, things that I had to talk about were the trainings that we have available this year. The harassment prevention training, there are 3 approved methods. The Know Before, that's basically a Mahaska County thing, that's a program that they use. We have the KPA system through Holmes Murphy, and then Nola Cartna will do the in-person training again, and she is offering 2 trainings in person, so she will be doing that. And then we have the Employment Practices Seminar on September 12th, and that will be at the Tama County Nature Center. And I'll get the invitations out as we get near to that in August. And we're gonna have, Holmes Murphy is going to be talking about, their ethos program. They're going to be talking about, changing workforce. We'll have safety discussions, cyber, and then also the employment practices attorney will be there, so. And then the other seminar that we've added this year is newly elected officials seminar, and that's going to be November 15th, and it'll be from 10 to 2, and that'll also be at the Tama County Nature Center. And so we'll be getting out information on that. I'll give a little background on Heartland. Mary will talk about the insurance program with Holmes Murphy, and then Brent Henders will be there to talk about open meetings, closed sessions, and new laws and things for the newly elected officials and elected officials. So we'll have that going. I'll get information out on that too, so.
Okay, just wanted, other things that are in your folders, this is your schedule that your current quotes is based on. If you would like to peruse through that, if you've got any changes, any notable changes that you would like to see, for the July 1 renewal, if you could get those changes to us by May 31st, that's the deadline on that. So we included a copy of your schedules. Your current mod worksheets are also in there. And then a policy summary of the upcoming policy year, the 24-25, with your primary limits. So if you look on there, it shows 303 million for your property limits. That is because it is now written on a blanket basis. So should you have the very unlikely situation where all of your buildings go down and you have 39 million of coverage and it costs 50 million, you actually have a blanket to borrow in from the limits of other counties. So you have a much better policy than you've had in the past. Any questions on any of the insurance stuff? Yes, okay.
Question.
Yep.
On Benton County policy summary sheet, purple one. Okay, on the deductibles,
Mm-hmm.
is it a big difference if we raise some of the deductibles on the premium savings? Or, I mean,
These are, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is a retention level, so I think that's kind of maybe a misnomer sometimes. This is a retention level of what you pay out of your surplus before the reinsurance carrier kicks in, so. And there's, if you wanna talk about, there's not to that.
So I think what he's referring to is these deductibles.
Oh, those,
Yeah,
yeah.
deductibles. So you have with the premium that's being, that's out there, that is the reinsurance premium, and that's based on, the retention level of the pool, not these deductibles.
okay,
So it would have no impact on what the
Okay.
reinsurance.
that's all I wanted to
Yeah.
know. You know, homeowners and all this, they're checking,
Oh, absolutely.
deductible premiums go up, the deductible goes up, and. Okay.
One thing it was asked, we passed as a board the equipment, once it's replaced or updated, that is going to go into effect immediately, isn't that correct? Rather than wait till the renewal period?
Correct, so what you guys elected to do was actually audit out the equipment and the autos. So that's typically done, so when the audit is done for your payroll and your work comp and your general liability, they will now start also auditing out your equipment and autos. So for instance, if you look at yours, you have you're almost 14% down year over year, so if that's what it ends up being from the inception to the end of the policy period, you will get some premium back on that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I'd recommend that the sheriff's office look at this, because there's quite a few vehicles you no longer have here.
Okay.
But there's the other ones you replace, I don't think are on there, possibly.
We went through that
Did you?
back in March, and yeah, we went through and cleaned out. And then once you take those ones to auction, we're keeping them insured until they're actually sold. And then I notify Judy and them.
Cause I know that when I was looking in here, that Freightliner is still in there, for example.
That should have been removed. That was on the notes to remove, I believe.
Okay.
We'll
So,
check those.
anyway, if you just look them over, don't need to do it here and at
We
this
just need to
point.
make sure it's done before the 31st of May. Is that-
Correct, yeah. So if you just look that stuff over, please, okay?
Cause then we also added, like, there was a couple radio towers that needed to get added.
You
We got
betcha.
that added.
Yeah, I saw that, so, okay. Good. Anything else, ladies?
Unless you have more questions.
Gentlemen?
Nope.
Okay, we'll see heads nodding. so.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Looks like it's lightened up a little bit out there.
Yeah, it's getting lighter.
Take our break for the car while it's not raining.
Go for it. Thank you, guys.
You bet.
And Nancy will get in touch with all the other departments.
Sounds
But
good, thank you.
I think we kinda have an idea which ones we have to go through.
Okay.
Ben is okay with that,
Okay.
Department 14 charge, so.
Gentlemen, here's the service area budget amendments. She did a copy here. And then that's, okay, okay. Well, here, if you'd like to look at these. You want this one back?
Oh, I didn't know if you guys wanted it for your notes to see what it was.
You can probably hand one sheet over to Gary.
Okay, make a motion then to, resolution 24-48, service area budget amendment.
Okay. To approve that?
And for service area 1, 3, 6, and 9.
Gary, do you have a second on that?
Second.
All right, very good. I will call for a vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Appreciate it.
Good. Get those signed. Is there anything else, young lady?
I don't think so.
I think we're at the end of it. Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
And motion seconded to adjourn. Call for vote. Primer, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Appreciate it.
Very good.
Maybe